so many times. Let's hope so, Wolf. How are you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad. Again, good. Just exhausted. Can you guys hear me? I want to say so, but I don't know. Yeah, moderately. I was able to finish enough that I had time to work on other stuff. So that's good. That's always good. I got 2 chapters done-ish, meaning I go back and I see if I can add anything else. And I got my video mostly done. I have to add pictures now. I have the audio done, thank freaking God. And now I just have to add the pictures. That audio was going to kill me. I took too many breaths. I need to learn how to not breathe while reading a script out loud. And if I keep this thing to myself any longer, it's never going to get done because I never am going to think it's perfect. So my goal is to get it done by tomorrow and posted sometime next week. I found like 40 plus pictures. So if I can incorporate those pictures somehow, some way, it'd be good. It'd be good. Shush, 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 shush. I have a backup for that. Wolf, shut up. So I was really smart with myself. And after I got all the edits done, after I took out all the breathing, the screw ups, the restarts, all that, after I took everything out and made it clean audio, freaking hoping, I have the original, like, with it all chopped up. And I was smart and I exported the whole thing as a video and that merged it all together. And then I brought it back into a separate file and created a new little movie thing and brought it in there. And then I was able to separate the image, which was me reading, from the audio, which is what I was reading. And then I had just the clean audio, which is all now together in one strand. And now I can just go over top of it with pictures. So that'll be fun. That was I thought editing my cosplay stuff took forever. No, with that, I know where stuff ends. I give myself cues of this is where I'm talking and this pause is where I need to cut. And yeah, with this audio, I at least recognize what my breathing looks like on the little indicator for audio. Yeah, learned that, and yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to give myself some cues on where to edit, just so it makes it a little bit easier on myself next time. Because with how big I had to spread the file so I could get the precise editing I needed to make everything clean, it took forever. I think I was sitting one day, I was like, oh, I've got an hour before lunch. Okay. So I'll work on this because I have nothing else to do. Nothing's come in. So I sat there and it took me 30 minutes to edit 5 minutes of audio. Like, I'm not, and it took me several days to finish that audio. So if I do these, if the theory series kicks off, I might need to rethink my strategy. Because it takes me a while to write the script because I'm doing research and I'm trying to figure out how to write it and word it. And then I have to then record it, and I'm never happy with how I record. And then I have to edit, and the editing part takes forever, I've found out. And then adding in the imaging is going to be interesting because some of these might not be just me, like just, still images. I might have to cut to other things. So, and now I've got to insert one of those little disclaimer bits that say this is protected by such and in the American system because, they just automatically assume if you have images of something, you're trying to profit off the images, not just use them for something to look at for content. Because their brains don't work too well, apparently. They don't want to watch our videos. They want to assume that because we have these images, we're profiting off the images, not just using them as something visual to show while we're talking, and that's the actual thing we're trying to make profit off of. And then I had to make sure that every image I pulled was from like the manga or the anime, not fan art. You know how much fan art there is for My Hero Academia? Too much. and I made sure it wasn't fan art because like with fan art you have to give, most of the time it's expected you give proper credit to the artist, but if if you don't know who the artist is, makes it a little difficult. So I just try to avoid that altogether, and I just pull images from the anime and manga because then you at least know where it comes from. Yeah, well, it's like most of the time it's to avoid demonetization, but I'm like, I'm not monetized. But, that hasn't stopped them from blocking my content in other countries before, too, just because I had a certain song playing for like more than 7 seconds. That one where it was banned in almost every freaking country on the planet was pretty good. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. So if I want my content seen, I guess I gotta make sure I cover myself as far as legal things. Because who knows, maybe someday I do get monetized. Fat chance. But maybe someday. Fat chance. Anyway, and then it goes back and it starts making money, so I have to cover myself for that. Otherwise, it'd make me take it down, and I don't want to take it down. Because I'm actually a little proud of this, just because it's my first ever theory. And I'll probably, knowing myself, go back and redo it later. Go back in a year or two and redo it. And then Lovely Wolf gave me a wonderful idea for a new series in the same vein as this upcoming video of doing I added the Punnett squares, but she wanted to know about if certain people had children in My Hero Academia, what their powers would be. The best way to do that is a 16 Punnett square. And I could break that down. I would have fun breaking that. I love genetics. It's my absolute favorite part of learning biology was doing the genetics stuff. So I would have fun. I've got a whiteboard. I can write down big Punnett squares and show you guys how it works. You had another one. Oh my God. I can't wait. And I would do ridiculous ones. I'm not just talking about like the normal pairings. I would actually like do the rare pairings, the crack pairings, whatever pairings you guys could think of, I would do just for the fun of it because Punnett squares is fun for me. I like breaking down genetics and seeing the possible outcomes because apparently most of the time there's only 16 possible combinations. You think about how big your genetics are. It's like for each set of things that can be influenced. You have 16 possible outcomes usually. It's like not necessarily 16, but there's like just 16 common ones, I think it is. I can't remember, but it's fun. It'll be fun. At least fun for me. I love to do this crap. I love doing it in high school and college. And having an excuse to do it again would be great. I should have been a geneticist. I don't know why I didn't go for geneticist. Probably because it's such a specialized thing. I'd be in school forever. It'd be fun though. It'd be way fun. Hoping Wolf didn't dip out because then that's the only person I'm talking to. Wolf may have dipped out or lost connection. All good. I was just teasing. Although, Wolf, if you're the only one, we may cut the time just because I know you're busy and I'm exhausted. I've been up for over 12 hours. For some weird reason, I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep. So I got up. I've been up for 18 hours, more or less. You always say that. We both know it won't happen. Oh, well, if this may be the last weekly hangout I do for a while. It's always true. Or I just found out that every single person that's normally in the chat is not a subscriber. I think that may be maybe what happened. Or that. I can't turn it off. Maybe. No. Whoa, that was not what I wanted to pop up. Thank you, though. Go away. Well, then they should have been subscribed, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not that hard if you want to watch it. It's there. But I mean, if they got the notification, they would have to be subscribed. So that's normally how it works. I just have all my notifications turned off. So I never know when anybody I follow is live. But I mean, I still see it on my feed and stuff. So you'd think it'd be easy for them to just go click a button and then come back into the stream. But we'll see. Asteroids. Don't tell me about the big tub of them. Found the name. Okay, Wolf, what is it? That tub is big enough to fit a baby. No. I'm sure you're just joking. Knowing you. See. Pringles. Oh. All right. Remind me again what exactly Mochi Face can do. Ochacho. Oh, I always call her Ochacho, but it's Ohako or some or Ochako or something like that. I think she's a little brunette that Deku has a crush on. I know what Mineta can do. I know those little things, those grape things come off his head, but that's about it. Oh, I never expected it of you. I mean, the last one you gave me was great. It was akin to somebody going like Deku crossover with, or Deku and Pain are in a relationship. Okay, and what can she do again? I I know she can I know she can float, right? Is that the full extent or is there other stuff she can do? Because I've seen her float and I think she can make other objects float, but I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to. So when I do these, I'm gonna have to get into like the nitty gritty of what each of their quirks can do because there's a lot that goes into this that I think about, and I'd rather, think about the different possibilities than just the basic. Oh, it could be just this. No, we're not going basic. We're gonna go in detail of what this could be because I mean you'll see in the upcoming video at least Wolf will because she's read the script. Um, that I describe like if one person with this power and this power have children, what could their potential offspring look like? And I go beyond just they have these powers. I go into what else they could have besides just the obvious. Okay, so if she can, and all his do, they're sticky, right? But they regrow. They're sticky, but they regrow. They regenerate because otherwise, and he's obviously immune to the pain of it. So that's another aspect because he can pull it off and it doesn't seem to hurt him. And they're sticky, so he can use them to like climb, he can use them to whatever. So for me, what I think, just offhand thinking about it, the child would be able to like would have the little like grape things, but be able to kind of command them if you think about it. So when they go to do the floaty power, because that would be the more dominant, the grapes might be smaller, but they could be able to control them and kind of like if you think about an atom and how the protons and like the electrons spin around on the outside. That would be what the child could essentially do is take those little grape balls and they spin around and then they can fly off. They're controlled that well. That's what it would be a natural shield, and then it could be a projectile. And again, this is just right offhand. I'm not even getting into about, like I said, Mineta probably has extreme pain tolerance because he can rip them off and they regenerate. So that opens up another world of possibilities. And for Ochako, she could probably, along with just, making things float and making herself float. You're good, Angelica. I'm probably not even going to stay on for the rest of the full hour, but good to see you. But along with just making herself and objects float, um, I believe she can also like temporarily touch something in it, and that's how she can make it float. She can temporarily touch it and it floats. She must have some kind of play against physics in a way. Same to you, Angelica. I hope you have a good upcoming week. In a way, but they come off the body. So it'd be like they could physically take them off by pulling them via floating. And then, we had snow. And then could, levitate them, but have direct, precise direction with them, not just, like Mineta has to rely on his own arm and his own strength to get them to go anywhere. With that power, that could be direct, far more direct and precise in just, just flailing them off. Just, you pull one, it goes and it's gone. Oh my God. That sounds not so fun. Like, yes and no, I guess, as far as fun goes. But it still sucks. I'm sorry that your family event is kind of wrecked or postponed because of the storm. I hope everybody's okay, though. You may get that lucky. A tree may blow into your school. Oh, that's good. That's good. Let's see. So definitely there'd be more precision in throwing the projectiles, the sticky projectiles. They may also be lighter weight than what we see normally. So they're not as dense. So they're able to then then they're already light. And then when they're touched by her and the power's transferred, they're being even lighter, but they're faster and they hurt more because they're more concentrated as a smaller size versus a big size. If any of you have seen Dead Man Wonderland, you remember the kid, he can use his blood as a projectile. The smaller it is, the better it is. Versus a big one where, yeah, it's going to have a greater impact, but it's slower, it's easier to avoid. So maybe with this combination, it works the same way, where a smaller grape is less dense, therefore it is faster and makes a very easy projectile. So there's that. Another one is maybe they only predominantly have Ochako's power, but they have some, resistance to. All right, sleep well. I hope you have a good upcoming week. But maybe they have because like you said, it sticks to other people and not to them. So maybe they have a higher resistance against certain substances that are closely resembled, at least molecularly, to the composition of the great balls. I'm just going to call them great balls because I don't know what they're actually called and I'm too tired to look it up. Anyway, so maybe then they're able to withstand that substance. Maybe if they have predominantly the great ball quirk, as far as, one like Ochako's, they have maybe they have a resistance to it. Or if they interact with somebody that has the floating quirk, they're able to not necessarily like resist it, but maybe they had better adapt to it. Maybe if they're touched, they can resist the command, or they can command it themselves for a brief moment and they're able to like redirect themselves or assist, something like that. A frozen grape ball. That's assuming that all of those genes are dominant and will express themselves. The more likely is that the floating one would be a dominant, and so would the ice. So then the grape balls might get a little lost in there. But it would go back to maybe ice um their ice powers are similar to the great ball, where they can be pulled off the skin, and then higher pain resistance, higher pain tolerance, and then the floaty power can be used to shoot the ice projectiles. Every time I see her, she doesn't necessarily use projectiles to her advantage. She more uses her power to defense, which is that's fine. But with either the ice or the great balls, offense would be way better suited, because yeah, they may have that power and they can make things float, but it may not be as strong as hers. It may just be a temporary thing. They may not even be able to float as high, but they can command these things as their own personal projectiles and shields. So it works both ways. I think that would be the most likely combination. Um, And again, we're not even covering what the pain tolerance, the pain resistance could be. I don't even know the ins and outs of of her quirk specifically. I just know the basics of what we see in the anime manga. If you go onto the wiki, they break them down really well. So I'm definitely going to have to look into that. So definitely send me those, Wolf, so I can start making the Punnett squares for them to explain how the hell these people, their children are going to be. Their hypothetical children would be, because it's fun. It's fun to predict the genetic future, especially with something as diverse as My Hero Academia's genetic pool. I love it. I love it so much, because you could be almost anything. That's exactly it, Wolf. That would be exactly it. But yeah, they could, if maybe they can't form ice anymore, but their hands, so they have them here, and they're like perfect projectiles that they can use with their like anti-gravity quirk. I guess I don't know what this is called. The floaty quirk. I'm gonna call it the floaty quirk. Floaty quirk can then just shoot them off. That would be one. They do, like, they have to touch something, so they touch their hands, and then they make the ice, and then they can. There you go. That's one. That's an option. That's definitely an option, because then it can come off the skin real easy because of the influence from the grape quirk, and then the floaty quirk comes in because they had to touch. It activated that, and then the ice quirk is the thing that manifests. So there you go. You have all three right there. I have aspects of all three. Exactly. I love how quirks can be, because none of them are straightforward, especially if you start introducing other ones into the mix. For example, if you look at Todoroki, that kid could throw any genetic lottery he wanted with the right person. And yes, I'm open to same-sex couples as well for the Punnett square, because why the hell not? We never determined if it's impossible in My Hero Academia. So give me like Aizawa and what is it, Present Mike, whatever his name is. Give me Aizawa and Mike. I'll do that. Give me I'll cringe through it, but Deku and Bakugo. Where do you think the ice idea came from? What ice idea? The one you gave me? Or something else? I want to answer this question before I go, because I think we'll just call it. It's been half an hour. Fair. Fair. But I mean, he also has siblings that also have different powers. They're fun too. I like them. I could have fun with the Punnett squares of the Todoroki children because they're all different. Yes, it's all basically the fire quirk. I mean, or some variation of the fire and ice quirk, but it's different. That's the fun part. They're different. They're not the same. Otherwise, all of his children would be being punished to be the next All Might. All right. Fletcher, do it. I don't care. I need it. I need him. I need ideas. I can do that. All right. Well, I think this is going to be the last weekly hangout for a while. I'm going to see if I can focus more on getting some content out that you guys might want to watch. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. In Wolf's case, rest of your day, and a great upcoming week. And I will see you soon. Have a great time, everybody. Bye-bye.